let's just begin for people that may not be familiar with your career and how it just, you know, expanded into the world of professional sports in basketball. You were drafted into the NBA. Just take us up from who you are and how you got there.
Well, I got drafted in 1996. I attended the University of Kentucky. And at 19 years old, I got drafted number 6 by the Celtics and began my journey into the NBA, and was fortunate enough to play 13 years in the NBA, 3-time All-Star. Played majority of my years in Boston, which was 8, but won a championship in 2006 with Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade. So that's an unbelievable.
You felt on top of the world, I bet.
Oh yeah, I felt like the world was, was mine, is what you want to say. But it was great. I had a great career. I would never take it back. It was something that I enjoyed and will always remember the rest of my life.
All right, so you get drafted. Do you remember the big check? Do you remember the first time you got a big check?
Yeah, my first check, you know, because you don't get paid till November. When you get drafted in June, then you don't get paid till November. So my first big check, I took it and purchased a home for my mom.
Okay.
So it was big. I was able to work out a negotiation with the team to be able to get a big lump sum of my money up front, which usually doesn't happen. But I was, the grace of God, I was able to do that, and I purchased my mom a home.
Okay, so you buy your mother a home. And you also help out other family members, don't you? And now you have a lot of very new friends.
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 6, so it's 4 boys, 2 girls. I have 2 daughters of my own.
Congratulations.
And then obviously, you know, I got family and friends who I'm very close with that grew up with me. So I usually ran with about 8 to 9 guys that kind of grew up in the same neighborhood and things with me. So I actually wanted them to see the same lifestyle that I was enjoying.
So what would be an example of something that you did at that younger age that you look back on now and say you just can't believe you spent the money doing that?
I would say a lot of exotic cars, jewelry that I did. I had a car fetish when I was very young. I had 5 or 6 different cars, but I had the most expensive cars when you're talking about Bentleys, Maybachs, Mercedes-Benz, so a lot of high-end things. I was into designer watches, you know, Rolexes, you know, timeless pieces that you can have forever. So I was into those type of things.
All right, that was what you were into, but you also paid for things for friends, didn't you? You went places, you went to Vegas. Tell us about that aspect of it.
Well, we went on lavish trips. I mean, we would go on vacation together. We would go to Cancun, we would go to Puerto Rico, we would go, you know, different places throughout the United States. And I would travel with a big group of guys. I would travel with 8 to 10 people with me and pay for their flights, hotel rooms, eating on the road. So you had those combinations of things. You know, we used to have real big bills at the end of those trips.
All right, now you're getting paid because you're playing professional basketball. Is there anybody on the team, is there any business manager that says, wait a minute, Antoine, you know, you're a great guy, but the money is not going to last forever? Anybody try to sit down and have that conversation?
Well, I had a financial advisor, I had a guy that was handling my money, but as any young arrogant kid, I didn't want to listen to him. I kind of took things in my own manner and made sure that I did what I wanted to do with my money. So I was advised a little bit, but I definitely took things in my own manner, just through my own, being my own ego.
All right, so you decide what? That this is the life for you, you keep spending the money, but then something happens. The money runs out. What happened?
Well, it's a combination of things. I think one, what we just talked about, the lifestyle. I lost a significant portion of money gambling. I used to go to Vegas and gamble. I lost the bulk of my money investing in real estate, in which in 2007, 2008, we went through the recession. I'm sure this is a worldwide thing that we all went through. And I got caught up in that web, and that ultimately ended the bulk of my wealth. So you add those 3 things together, they played a huge part in me losing all my finances.
Okay, so you take those things, those 3 things, but now you take this idea that you want to share the story, you want to complete it because you're out of personal bankruptcy and you've got a movie called Gone in an Instant. Tell us about the film.
Well, I wanted to come out and basically try to teach guys, not just necessarily athletes, but just people in general about having a lot of money. Sometimes different people come into wealth in different areas. So I wanted to share my story. Going through bankruptcy, I kind of got an opportunity to do that and see all the mistakes that I made. So I want to share those things, but also tell my story so people can see it as a learning example. creating a foundation for finance literacy. I have a book coming out at the beginning of the year to talk about some of the trials and tribulations that I also went through, and that so people can understand what's going on in life and make sure they do the right thing. So hopefully it can hit home for everybody. You don't necessarily have to be an athlete.
All right, well, I'm glad you mentioned books because we'd like to get to know you a little bit more, and I'd like to know, for example, what is the last book that you have read? What's the book that's the most current for you?
Think Rich and Grow, The Black Choice. I was just reading it, just kind of learning about finances, going through my process. I thought it was a great book for me to read, to kind of help me want to, get myself back together. So I'm not a huge book reader, so that book was brought to me and told me I should read it, so I read it, and it's been very, very helpful.
And it spoke to you?
Oh, definitely. I hit home just with a lot of financial situations, things that I never thought about when I was playing and when I had a lot of money.
All right. Now, when you were growing up, while you were playing, who was your idol?
Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was my idol. Obviously, I wanted to be like him on the court. I was a guy that was very tall for my age, so I grew to be 6'9". He was a 6'9" point guard. But also what he went through. I mean, the way he was so courageous and he came out when he got HIV virus. I had the unique opportunity in '96 to be able to be around Magic a lot and play in this charity game. So he was just one guy that I always looked up to.